There we go. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, welcome. Jennifer Hootie here, founder at Vision Driven. So good to be with you. We're going to get this party started. I'm going to pop my slides up on the screen. Share. All right. We should be good to go. We are in business. All right. Well, welcome to this Vision Masterclass. I'm going to show you the exact 5-step process to craft a crystal clear and compelling vision that pulls you forward, no matter the situation, the circumstance, the challenge, that keeps you on track to hit your goals so you can live an extraordinary life, a life that blows your own damn mind. All right? Does that sound good? So grab a pen and a piece of paper or a journal. You're likely going to want to take some notes for this one a day. And let's just dive right in. Thomas Carl said, "A person without a goal is like a ship without a rudder." So some of you may be here because you're not really clear on the direction that you're headed next. Maybe you're at a crossroads in your business or your life. You have a business pivot, or you started a new business. Maybe you sold a business, you're merging a business. Maybe you're going through some shifts in your relationship. You ended a relationship, you're stepping into a new one. Maybe you had a health wake-up call. And I first want to highlight who this masterclass is for. Okay. So if you are coming in today and you lack some direction on where you want to take your business and life next, this is for you. Maybe you have grown rapidly, you've achieved a lot, you've arrived at that initial milestone, but now you are stepping into a new phase. What now? What next? Maybe you achieved their original vision and you've sort of hit a plateau. Or maybe you really want to grow faster. You're on to something, you know it when it comes to your business, but you keep getting dragged into the day-to-day by your team or your partner because they can't see the big picture. And the distinction here is you know you're the bottleneck and you hate it. Your team turns to you for the smallest details because they can't see the big picture either. And you really struggle to align your team because everyone right now feels like they're rowing in different directions and the responsibility keeps falling on you. I feel like I'm getting some head nods here. Does this relate? Or maybe you are burnt out. You've been pushing for a long time and you are feeling unfulfilled, dissatisfied, exhausted about how you've been building and creating. And you've been wondering if there's a better way. I know there's probably many of you on or watching right now where you're asking this question, and it's a very valid and important question to ask. Or finally, maybe you are clear around what you want your future to look like, but your team or your partner don't see it, and you are feeling the impact of that because maybe you're trying to hire talent and you're not able to recruit top talent because they don't see the potential or possibility of the business. So what I need you to know is if any or all or a few of these resonate with you, that you are not alone. I I genuinely mean this when I say I get it, and I'll tell you about that in a moment, but it can feel like a very painful place to be in any of these scenarios. And an important thing to understand is that these are actually all symptoms of one main root issue, that they all are simply the result of a lack of clarity and or clear communication around a compelling vision for the future. So you may not have clarity yourself, or you may not be communicating it. And what I call this is the visionary's dilemma. You see, as a leader, your primary responsibility is to chart the course for your company or your life's future. Your team, your family, your community are all looking to you for what's next, for you to craft a vision for the future. And I believe now more than ever before, the world is craving leaders to step up and to show up and be those visionaries from a place of like being integrated, and it not just being these crazy audacious things that we are constantly chasing the carrot for. And I get it. I get it if you are here, because I have been here, and I know how uncomfortable it is. So I want to take you back to the beginning of 2021. I'm running an organization at the time called Conscious Copy & Co. And it's a marketing and messaging agency where we were working with some of the top thought leaders in the personal development, business, and health space. Some of our clients in the past included Tony Robbins, JJ Virgin, Joe Polish, Cameron Herold, Bulletproof Coffee, many, many others. I had a team of 12. And over those 6 or 7 years, I had built it to be a very well-known agency in our industry. And I was really proud of the work that we were doing in the world and how we were helping really important messages get out into the world. But we had reached a plateau. And for months, my team was asking me for the direction of where our company was headed next. And the ironic part of this was that we had a whole division in our company called Vivid Vision, where I partnered with Cameron Herold, the author of Vivid Vision, where we had been we had helped hundreds of companies to clarify their vision for the future and communicate it into this document called the Vivid Vision. And I'll be sharing with you more on that. And I had created several vivid visions for my company many times before. For my life, I had always been relatively clear. But this particular time, I was stuck. And for months, I was unclear of the direction that I wanted to take the company next. And it was one of the most uncomfortable places for me to be, because I knew and I felt that I was slowing the company down. I was the bottleneck. My team was coming to me saying, hey, we need to map out a strategy for this, or we want to start planning our calendar for next year. And for, whatever reason, I was like paralyzed in being able to cast the vision for the future. And since we had actually had this division where we were helping companies with this exact thing, I noticed, I'm like, oh, I think I'm kind of running into something that many of our clients have in the past, where many of these top CEOs and entrepreneurs would come to us and We'd take them through this deep discovery process. We call it the vivid vision method. And sometimes it would be really confronting for them. And what I realized as I was stuck on casting the next vision for conscious copy was that at that point, most of the vision that I had for the company had been realized. And when I was in that season of lack of clarity, I was making up all these stories of, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just figure this out? Why can't I just decide a direction? But I knew I wasn't all in what I was choosing. And there was a particular moment in May of 2021. I had just submitted the deliverables of a project for one of our biggest clients and our biggest projects. It was like a dream client. We helped launch his book and were part of and contributed to him hitting many of the bestseller lists, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, you name it. And, you'd think that I would be on like a complete high after it was, one of those peak moments in business after all of the challenges. And as I was sitting in my office at my desk and just submitted the project, there was this simple thought that just subtly floated by that changed everything for me. And the thought was, this ain't it. I knew in my heart that there was a sense of completion with building that company. And it was in that moment where I was willing to be honest with myself. And I think part where I know that it was a difficult journey to get to that point because I knew that there was going to be so much change that was required or going to be required in making the shift. And what I knew is I actually wanted to, there was this piece of our business all around helping entrepreneurs, CEOs, founders with vision and vivid vision. And I wanted to double down on that because that's what brought me the most life. That's what I loved. And so it was about a 6-month process, and I took the leap of faith, and I ended up creating Vision Driven. And the very first thing I did was what I shared with so many of our clients to do is I sat down for this new company and I crafted a vivid vision. And if you're not familiar with a vivid vision, it's a 4 to 6 page document that paints a clear and vivid picture of exactly what you want your future and your life to look like in the future as if it's already happened. And this tool has been transformative. I was going to say transformational, transformative, both same. But for me, because this was the process that I used right when I had started Conscious Copy and I was bootstrapping that business and I was a team of one and I was virtually unknown in the industry. And Cameron Herold, the author of Vivid Vision, gave me the advice to write a vivid vision for my company. And I cast the picture of what I wanted Conscious Copy to look like. And so much of it had come true, even better than I could have imagined. And so I had seen the process work in my life, in my business, in my personal life, and I wanted to help more companies do the same. And so in 2022, we doubled down on this, my team and I. And in addition to doing it with Conscious Copy and then our company now Vision Driven, we have worked with some of the top companies in the world in helping them with their vision. Organizations like EO, YPO, Scaling Up, Dan Martell, ClickBank, Genius Network, Fulfillment.com. We have helped over 550 entrepreneurs one-on-one through our process, and then another about 2,500 through our retreats, our workshops, our online trainings and courses. And if you're unfamiliar of what a vivid vision kind of looks like, the outcome, here's an example of one that we created for Cameron Harold. This is his personal one. So again, you lean into the future and you imagine you take a time machine, and what do you see? What do you want to see when it comes to your life in the areas of your health, your relationships, your business, your finances, and painting the picture of that? Here is the example of one we created in the trucking industry. And I'll share more about the business vivid visions and what that all includes. Here's an example of one that we created in healthcare, and painting and what you can use this for. I'll share in a moment, but it is so powerful to align team and recruit top talent. And so over the years, my team and I have helped these entrepreneurs in articulating and communicating their vivid vision. I joke that it's kind of like your sales page for the future, that, you got to sell yourself and others on what this future looks like, and then go ahead and make it up and make it real, make it happen. And a few years ago, actually, I believe it was the first one, it was in 2020, we started doing vivid vision retreats. So a lot of very successful entrepreneurs coming to us at a crossroads, feeling discontent and seeking direction. And so we started leading these 3-day retreats, which have been extraordinary. And in taking this leap that felt so scary, kind of a trust fall, it has been one of the best decisions for me in my life. I've had the privilege of now traveling all over the world to speak and share to the top entrepreneurial groups on vision. I just got back from Richard Branson's Necker Island. Earlier this year, spoke on a stage with 2 past presidents. And my why, my drivers, I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. And I really believe that entrepreneurs are the ones that are here to transform the world, that it's not going to be, big pharma, big media, big health, big food, but it's going to be these leaders that are courageous enough to pave a new path, not only for themselves, for yourself, but for your family, your community, your team, to be willing to do it a different way. And, every day I get to wake up and help these entrepreneurs. And so when it comes to your vivid vision, as far as your business goes, it'll help you align and focus your team. It'll help you recruit top talent because they can see the vision for your future, to get key vendors, partners, clients on board. They want to see what you're building and help you make it happen. When challenges come up, for you to be able to anchor into the vision and to get clear of the results that you're here to produce, so you can filter different strategies and tactics. I see so many entrepreneurs get swept up in tactics, and they don't even know where they're going. They don't even know why they're doing it. They are just in looping, really. And one of the most powerful ways that the vivid vision and this process I'm going to share with you today is in decision making. When you know what your vision is, you can discern whether an opportunity is aligned to your vision or if it's a seductive distraction. And so here's the truth, okay? There are only 2 ways for any of us, you or myself, to create results. The first one is by default, to submit to the patterns of your past. So modern research has actually shown that each one of us has what's called a default future, meaning a future that we can actually fully believe is going to happen. And oftentimes that looks like more of our past getting dragged into our future with some incremental changes. I also call this building a condition-driven life. It's like the default settings. It's like your iPhone has one software and it hasn't gotten updated in 12 years since the iPhone was created. It hasn't been updated. So it's outdated. And so many people are operating their businesses and their lives of just creating more of the same. And the other way is to create by design, to pause and become intentional around what it is that you really want for your life. And we're going to be going into that today, and I'm going to show you the 5 steps on how to do that and to use your mind to design a future that you really love. Because here's the deal. 1, 3 years into the future, if you have the honor, the privilege of continuing to live, right? We never know when our time is up. You are going to have results in your life either way. Are they the results that you want? And 2 is everything in your life is created twice. First in your mind and then in your reality. Again, if you think about your iPhone, the shirt that you're wearing, the home that you're in, there was someone that first had the thought, the possibility, I want to create something around this. That was step 1. And so many people sort of dabble in this. They don't actually take the time to get clear of what they want. And I'm proposing to you that this is the most important thing that you can prioritize in your life, is actually building and designing the future that you want to live into. Yeah. So I'm going to map out the exact 5-step process to begin to craft a clear and compelling vision that pulls you forward and keeps you on track to hit your goals. And here's the deal. Near the end, I promise that I'm going to show you how you can take these tools, how you can take these steps and go even deeper with them by getting additional support. Because in this masterclass, we're going to touch on some things, but it's going to require you to be able to use them, understand them, implement them into your life. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about our vision-driven quest and how I can help you design an extraordinary life and business. All right. The other thing is, if you stay until the end, I have a free gift that I'm going to give you, and it's going to help you connect to and build a relation with your vision on a daily basis. It's something that I use every single day. It's been the most impactful thing for me. And so I'm going to give you a gift of this that you can use every day if you stayed till the end. All right. So step number 1, get into a vision state. What is a vision state? Well, your current state of mind has built your current reality. So there may be parts of your business or your life where you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you're anxious, you're worried. And if you start creating your vision from this frame of mind, you will build your vision from that known reality, from that default future. Or sometimes it looks like just more of the same, just growth, right? You're having cash flow issues and you're like, no, we just got to grow more. We need more leads. And then it's just bigger cash flow issues. And so getting in a vision state is, I'm going to actually share this slide where this is a map of human brain waves. So if you see at the second to the top here is the, beta brain waves, where you're alert, cognitive, concentrated, you're listening, your prefrontal cortex is working. But the thing about this part of your brain is you're not as creative. So where a lot of creativity happens, people call it flow state, is actually when your brain waves are in alpha or theta, where you're relaxed, awake, present, calm. And what happens here is your left brain and your right brain begin to work in harmony. And if you imagine on your computer, if you don't have Wi-Fi, the only thing that you can access is the file folders that are on your computer. And when you are in a high beta, your brainwaves are in high beta, you're stressed out, you're present, you're kind of like, okay, got to get something done. It's kind of like your Wi-Fi signal isn't on, where all you can access is your past. But when you get into a vision state, instead of tapping into the internet, you can tap into the infinite side of your nature, and you can become far more creative and be able to see your life, your business from a higher lens and get ideas that you couldn't access before. And so there's many ways that you can tap into this vision state, meditation, breath work, visualization, movement, nature. Over the last several years, one of the big questions I've asked in helping entrepreneurs with this visioning process is, how can we help them get clarity on demand? And so my husband and I actually created this process called the Vision Amplifier Experience. It's a combination of diaphragmatic breath work, visualization, and extraordinary music that helps entrepreneurs get into this flow state, get a balanced mind so that they can access clarity. And we pose different questions for them to ask when they're in this state. It's kind of like Thomas Edison, great inventor. He used to sit in a rocking chair, and he said that he would go to the land of the solution, meaning he would get his brainwaves in a theta state. He would know how to ask the right question around the inventions that he was coming up with. And then he would receive, like a receiver, like a Wi-Fi signal, the answers to those questions. And it's how he created some of his greatest inventions, like the light bulb, the photograph machine. And so you can do the same. And I'll share with you how you can get access to some of these tracks around Vision Amplifier. But then when you're in this vision state, you want to be able to hang out here more, because the latest neuroscience actually has discovered that it's not our past, but the relationship to our future that actually drives a person's actions and behaviors. So step number 1 is get in a vision state. Step number 2 is avoid the golden jail cell. So this is one of my amazing clients, Akram. I've had the privilege of working with him for the last year and a half, and he's built before he came to me, he had built a successful multi-million-dollar e-commerce business, but he was burnt out, depressed, asking the question, even at a young age, are my best days behind me? He was considering selling his business. He had made some hires that really cost him time, frustration, money, and he was starting to resent his business. And I see this so often for entrepreneurs where they don't like working in their own business, and they've essentially created a golden jail cell. And so he came to one of our Vivid Vision retreats, and he was at this crossroads, considering selling, looking for answers. And through the process, he had a lot of different breakthroughs, but I challenged him to ask this question. And the question is, what would I love? Instead of asking the question, what makes sense? What should I do? What's logical? It's, what would I actually love? If I was to step into a time machine 3 years into the future and take a look around, what would I be excited about? And so Akram and I continued to work together. He created his vivid vision, made a lot of different changes in his business, his personal life. And 9 months later, already having a multi-million-dollar business, he grew over 40%. This year is on track for over 50% with really healthy profit margins. He completely restructured his team, got his mind and the vision in the right state, and it caused a huge ripple effect, particularly in how he gets to show up for his wife, his young 3-year-old daughter, and being excited again for what he's building and what he's creating and who he gets to become. And so some of you may be looking at this question, and I've done speaking engagements before where people get confronted at this, and I get it. And if you haven't asked yourself these questions before, it can be confronting. Or if you notice blocks coming up, who am I to want this? Can I actually have that? Feeling guilty. How am I going to do this? Just know that all of this is normal. I actually welcome it, because when you set a new vision, it's like turning up the dial on what's possible for you. Anything that isn't a match to that new vision is going to bubble up, is going to rise up to be either released or transformed, or, and that especially goes with your beliefs. So of course there's going to be things that come up. And in our courses and our trainings, we dive into this. I have a whole training called the 7 blocks that keep people stuck from answering the question, what do I want? What would I love? And how to overcome it. So asking what would I love is key. All right, number 3 is you want to paint the picture. So I am on the phone a lot with entrepreneurs across all different backgrounds. And sometimes I'll have someone come up to me and I'll say, how clear are you of your vision? And they'll say, oh, crystal clear. I'm like, great, tell me about it. And then I'll hear a number, $10 million in revenue in 3 years, or $3 million in 3 years. And it's important to understand that if it's a number, that's a good start, but that's a metric. That's not a vision. So I want you to imagine if you rolled up to a plot of land and you brought your whole team with you, or your whole family, and you said, hey, we're going to build a $3 million home. Are you super confident that they're going to build and design the house exactly how you want it? Probably not, right? And so it's so important to get specific, really specific when it comes to your vision. And this is a piece that I see so many entrepreneurs miss, is they're using general, fluffy language that isn't visceral. So when we work with our clients, we help to make sure that we ask, okay, if we're to step in that time machine, what do we see 3 years into the future when it comes to your culture? How will we know that you have built a culture that you're really proud of? How do people deal with conflict? How do they communicate to each other? How do they treat your clients? If you were to be a fly on the wall and see an interaction between a team member and a client, what would make you so proud? We ask these specific questions. What do you hear? And then what does it feel like? And ultimately, when you combine what you see, what you hear, what you feel, that creates a story, right? So we're creating your future story. That's what your vision really is. And you should be able to step inside of that future story and be able to describe it with the same level of specificity and detail that you do with your current reality. Because again, everything is created twice. So using a combination of in the vivid vision process, And the blueprint, we guide our clients to not only use images, right? Because a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a picture can also be interpreted a certain way. But you combine that with the communication, the articulation, and especially when you're using this for your teams, it's so important that your team can see the vision with the same level of clarity as you can, so that they can start to execute on it. They can come up with a creative how, and you can lead them. Because it's one thing for you to see your vision, but if you can't articulate it and your team doesn't see it too, it stops there. It becomes another idea lost in translation. And so if you're struggling to align your team right now, it's probably because of this. They're in the dark. They don't see the whole picture. And this is something that, we've really dialed in the process around, because there's particular elements of it that you want to really get your subconscious mind on board, because the subconscious operates 95% of our decisions. So number 3 is paint the picture. Number 4 is to use present tense or past tense reflecting back. So I mentioned about your subconscious mind. So we have our prefrontal cortex, our conscious mind, our subconscious. Our subconscious is responsible for 95% of our decisions. And there has been many studies done when it comes to visualization. Harvard did a study when it comes to people doing bicep curls. And they put electromagnetic caps on people who were actually doing bicep curls and saw how their brain lit up. And then they put the caps on people who were just visualizing themselves doing the bicep curls, and their brain was lighting up the exact same places. What was crazy is they found that the people who were just visualizing themselves doing the bicep curls, their muscles also grew, even though they weren't doing the physical, the physical act. And this is because the subconscious does not know the difference, that it only lives in the now. And so there's ways that you can program it, and there's a way that you make your vision very susceptible, where you become, you create luck, you create opportunities. So when you write it, you say, we have done this, not we will do this. It looks like this, not it's going to look like this. Over the past 3 years, not in the next 3 years. And in working with, very ambitious, high achieving leaders, entrepreneurs, there's a distinction that I've noticed between what I call tunnel vision versus vision driven. And there are many leaders, and again, I've been through this in my own journey, of this idea that once I get there, then, and it's almost chasing the rabbit. There is a vision, but they're tunnel vision on the goal, and they let everything else slip away or slip aside in their lives. And I've ran into this, about 10 years ago when I was building my first business. I was letting my relationships and my health just go because I was so focused on this goal, not realizing that we don't go to our vision, we come from our vision. This is a quote that I learned from a mentor of mine. And being vision driven is defining what that vision in the future is, but then also being aligned to coming from it, that you are building and designing an integrated life that is going to support not only your business, but your health and your relationships, and make sure that you are enjoying the journey as much as the destination. And it is possible. It definitely takes presence and intention and design, but I can tell you firsthand from my own lived experience that it is possible. So past tense, present tense, coming from the vision. And then the 5th step is asking what, where, and why, not how right now. Meaning, what is the vision? Where is it? Why is this important to me? Not how. Okay. This is one of the biggest blocks that I see people get stuck in is they're looping in the how and they're asking the how before they know where the heck they're going. So check out this slide and let me know if you can read it, give a head nod, but you likely can, right? So there was this research study that showed that it doesn't matter what order the letters are in. The only important thing is the first and the last letter be in the right place. The rest can be a total mess. You can still read it without a problem because the human mind does not read every word itself, but the word as a whole. And the same thing goes for your life, my friend. So many people get tripped up in the how. But when you start to design your life from this higher order, you're not going to know the how. And if you think about some of the best parts of your life right now, did you know exactly how everything was going to be orchestrated in order to be where you're at today? No. And so if you know exactly how to get somewhere, it's a plan, not a vision. The mere act of not knowing is part of the vision because you get to partner up with a higher part of yourself, your future self. If you believe in a higher power, you get to tap into the infinite side of your nature to bring this to life. And it's exciting and it's exhilarating. So let me tell you a quick example of not knowing the how. This is Dan Martell. He's a phenomenal coach, consultant in the SaaS space, built and sold a few companies. My team and I have helped Dan with his past few vivid visions. And in his vivid vision that just wrapped up for 2023, we wrote it in 2020. In that vision, he shared that he was invited to speak on Tony Robbins' business mastery stage. So he wrote it as if it's already happened. No other reason that it would be a fun pursuit. He would love it. And as 2023 rolled around, well, let me back up. He asked himself a really powerful question once he decided on that vision. And this is something we go deep into our programs around. He asked, who do I need to become in order to welcome an opportunity like this? Or a version of that. And so he got to work. He launched an extraordinary book, continued to build very successful businesses, was thriving, a lot of momentum. And then sure enough, months away from his vivid vision, his 3-year vivid vision wrapping up, he got a call from Tony Robbins' team inviting him to come and speak at the Business Mastery event. And this is a social media post he wrote where he was one of over 1 million entrepreneurs that had attended that event and wished that someday he'd be able to teach on that stage. And he said, the only thing I did different was I believed it was possible. And for over 6 years, I would share the story, the dream, the goal, had it on my vision board and my vivid vision doc as a company. I would tell my new hires about it. And he lived into it. He didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, but he made it welcome. And I cannot tell you how many stories that I have had the pleasure of being on the receiving end of clients reaching out to me and saying, you'll never believe what just happened. And they'll go on to tell me of a wild, crazy way of how something happened anchored into the vision that they crafted through one of our programs or one of our retreats. And so let's recap these 5 steps. So step number 1, get in a vision state. 2, ask, what would I love? 3, painting the picture. What does it look like? You step into a time machine 3 years into the future. Number 4 is present tense, past tense, reflecting back. And 5 is thinking where, not how right now. And then you turn it into that 3-year vivid vision blueprint. Why 3 years? I should have, is because 3 years is far enough in the future. You can dream big. You don't need to know the how. You can stretch your mind of what's possible, but it's close enough where you can get vivid and specific with it. So the human brain does really well with 3s. If it's too close, that 1 year, then you're kind of coming up with a plan. So 3 years is a sweet spot. And again, we've created so many vivid visions, and we've really mapped out our vivid vision method, the step-by-step process of how to do this. This is one for a law firm we created. This is one that we created for Cameron and Harold's wife, Ashley, for their marriage, mapping out what they wanted that to look like and crafting your personal vivid vision. And I really believe it's so important to have your personal vivid vision that governs your decisions, as well as your company vivid vision, because your team may not be as enrolled in what you want for your relationships and your health, right? But we want to map out what the culture, the team, the core business activities, the sales, the marketing, the media, awards, all that looks like, so that they can see it and they can help bring it to life. They can see their own personal vision within the company vision. So I think it's very important to have an integration of both and make sure that both complement each other and they're not contradicting each other. Yeah. So now that you have these steps, you may be wondering, okay, how do I create and design my own personal vivid vision? Or what are the questions that I ask myself? If blocks come up, how do I overcome them? How do I write it? How do I design it? How do I apply it? How do I bring it to life? How do I start to make it happen? Yeah. And so if this is you, and now that you have these steps, you know that you're the type of person that wants to take it further, wants to go deeper. You see the value and the importance of designing your future the way that you want it, and maybe approaching things a little bit different than you have, so that your life, your future is a lot more satisfying, fulfilling, life-giving. Then I would love to share with you a little bit more about our vision-driven quest. And this is where entrepreneurs come to gain clarity of what they truly want, to design their vivid vision, and to create an extraordinary life. And that's exactly what I can help you with in the vision-driven quest. You're going to walk away with your 3-year vivid vision created for this next chapter of your business and your life, plus a simple action plan for how you can intentionally bring it to life. It's broken down into 5 core training modules over the course of 6 weeks. And it's going to help you create an integrated vivid vision. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about what's inside of the quest. So you get the inside scoop. All right. So 5 modules. Module 1, creating the right environment for your next big vision to come through. This is a process I use on a quarterly basis. And it's so important to set yourself up for success when creating your vision, because it's kind of like tending to a garden. If you want your garden to grow and grow, you first need to pick out the weeds. So we're going to look at, hey, where has there been some dissatisfaction, dullness, and where are the plateaus that are stopping you from reaching your next level so that you can break through them? And I'm going to show you a process for creating momentum towards your vision before you even begin. Module 2 I'm going to take you through several processes to gain clarity on your next vision. So clarity is this thing that everybody wants, right? But few know how to create. So I have decoded this thing called clarity, and you'll discover how to receive it, how to, even if you've been stuck for a long time. I have guided many, many clients that have been struggling for several years on the direction that they want to take things next, and help them again, like just be able to unpack it. Because what I truly believe is the clarity is already inside of you. Usually though, there's just some blocks that are getting in the way of it. So I'm going to share the counterintuitive approach for how you can unlock clarity. And you can use this not only with your 3-year vision, you can use this in all areas. And then in module 3, we're really going to get to work on creating that 3-year vision. So we'll separate it out from your life vivid vision. We'll dive into 5 key areas. And then I'll provide you all of the question prompts, the blueprint for mapping out 12 areas of your business vivid vision, and how to begin to ask yourself these questions and map it out and be able to then go into communicating it. Because as I mentioned, if you don't know how to articulate your vision, it stops there. So I'll share with you tools on how to write your vivid vision, how to choose the right images and designs for your vivid vision. I'm going to share with you a ton of different examples so you can see what's on the menu. Say like, check out what's on the buffet of what other, for inspiration from different businesses. And then you're also going to get vivid vision design plug and play templates. So this is going to help you build that vivid vision blueprint and exactly how to do it. Module 5 is where we take this vision and put it into action. So I'll guide you through how you're going to feel ready, confident to share your vision with the world so you can align the right people around it to start to bring it to life, and how you as a leader can show up being vision driven, consistently articulating the vision, where to use it, how to infuse it into the fabric of your company culture, especially. And then I added a bonus module. And this is where you're going to get a taste of our vision-driven operating system. So once you have that 3-year vision, I'm going to show you how to distill it down into what we call a 1-year focus. So this is where you will map out where are you going to focus first and where is the best place to focus first based on where you're currently at. And then I'm going to show you how to hone it in even further into quarterly commitments. For example, I say, we call them commitments instead of goals in our world. And how do we set up your calendar to make sure that it reflects these commitments? And then there's some, one in particular, this identity upgrade this is a process that so many of my clients have huge breakthroughs around, because there's a version of you in the future that is already living the life of your vision. So we really get clear of who is that version of you and how do we begin to almost reprogram or upgrade the software in your own way of being and your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions to be a match to that. And if there are parts of you where maybe you're kind of self-sabotaging or like bumping up against yourself, how do you break through? And what are those beliefs that you get to transform so that you can welcome in, greater health and more present, satisfying relationships? So you're going to receive, and then also, it isn't included here, but how do you weave your vision into your day-to-day life? So I offer the tools and and trainings on exactly how to do this and how to apply it so it's sustainable. So this is the same framework that we've taken entrepreneurs through in our Vivid Vision retreats. It's tried, it's tested, we've dialed it in. It's what my clients pay me up to $25,000 a day to help guide them through one-on-one. And you are going to receive it in a really easy to implement, to understand way. These are the tools that I've helped many, many entrepreneurs with. So, who is the Vision Driven Quest for? This is for you if you're at a crossroads in a particular area or more in your business or your life, and you desire clarity around it. You want to anchor into a future that you can have a sense of confidence in. You want to give your team or your family direction on where you are headed. This is huge. And again, I mentioned many of as far as being able to align your team and recruit talent. And you want to design your life and your business in a way that's satisfying, that's fun, that's fulfilling, coming from that vision every day, being able to be clear of what your yeses are, what your nos are, what's aligned to the vision. I can't tell you how many times a day I ask myself, is this aligned to the vision? Is even this decision, this action, this behavior, this habit, and it really governs my life and how I show up. So it'll be delivered to you. There's in video trainings that are short to the point that you can dive right in on. You'll have powerful video, audio trainings, a follow along playbook, processes. There'll be some visualizations, audios, templates. We provide the modules. So if you want to just dive on in and take yourself on a 2-day retreat to complete it, you can. But we're also going to be doing this as a community over the next 6 weeks live. So for all of the modules in the Vision Driven Quest, again, as I mentioned, when we lead this for our retreats, our one-on-one work, I mean, it's starting at $5,000 that goes up to $25,000, $40,000. The regular investment for the Vision Driven Quest when we are not in a launch period right now, a live cohort, is $19.95. But if you join today, you're going to get a special live launch investment. And we're going to be including in some additional bonuses that are pretty epic. I'm stoked about it. The first bonus is the Vision Amplifier audio tracks. So again, Vision Amplifier is a peak performance tool to help you unlock clarity on demand. In one session alone, I have had entrepreneurs come up to me and say that they got the idea of what their business model was supposed to be. I've had entrepreneurs come up to me and say they've been stuck for years around a particular area of their business that unlocked and they got clarity. One woman came up to me and said she knew exactly the person that she was supposed to hire to run her company, brought in that woman, and has grown into a multi-eight-figure business. And so one idea can change your life when you are in that vision state. And that's what Vision Amplifier helps you do, is to come from that vision state more often in your days. So you're going to be getting 12 tracks. They range from 5 minutes to 45 minutes with different themes, motivation, clarity, focus. There's some visualizations that are really powerful. JJ Virgin, celebrity nutrition and fitness expert, said, over the past several years, I've been a student of mindfulness. I've experienced Vision Amplifier multiple times. I'm always blown away. As entrepreneurs, we're always looking for things that help us up level our business, ourselves. But at a certain point, it isn't a new strategy, software, tactic, but rather a breakthrough from within that makes the difference. Vision Amplifier does just that and is an essential tool in my business and life toolbox. So you're going to be getting these tracks that you can use on a daily basis, and they're so fun. I love them. And, some of my closest friends use them every single day. The second bonus you're going to get is the Vivid Vision Mind Map and Guided Couples Process to creating your romantic relationship vivid vision. So maybe you're married, maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're calling in the one, and you want to create and align your vision for the future. So you're going to receive a guide and a process that you can go through by doing, say, a mini relationship retreat and build a future together that you're both excited to visit. My husband and I have crafted many iterations of our relationship vivid vision over the last 7.5 years being together. And it is our North Star. It's what helps us, consistently have harmony, be on the same be on the same page when making really big life decisions. So you will get this. The third bonus is you're going to get the vision-driven calendar system. So if your calendar is something that creates overwhelm for you in your life, you look at it and you're just like, I don't like this. This is for you. I'm going to show you how to set up your calendar to be a reflection of your vision. So you look at it and it feels expansive instead of stressful. Also, so that you get more done in a week than you do in a month. Because for the last, I'm in my 8th year or 9th year. I use this weekly calendar system of planning out my calendar. And I'm going to share it with you and there's been many things over the years that I've learned, because I was like notoriously overwhelmed all the time when it came to my calendar, until I learned several of these processes, and I've condensed it and want to share it with you because this is going to make such a huge difference. I had a client of mine who just like crafted the vivid vision, but then went deep on this calendar system, and it completely transformed his life. Like, I remember over 6 months, he kept being like, I just can't believe how much the calendar has given me peace of mind, because I show you how to set it up and design it so you respond to it versus react, which most people react to it. Plus, okay, another bonus is when you sign up for this live cohort, which you got to sign up before May 17th, 2024, you're going to get 4 live sessions with me, group sessions. We're going to dive into topics like how to overcome the blocks that keep you stuck and playing small, and how to tap into that higher vision. I'm going to guide you through a live vision amplifier breathwork session, which is so powerful. You're going to love it. We'll do some live coaching Q&A. I'll show you how to roll out your vivid vision. All of these sessions together are valued at over $3,900, and they're going to be included in your tuition. So all of this, right? The modules, the bonuses, has a value of over $15,000. And you got to ask yourself the most important question around this. Can you guess what it is? It's, would you love it? Would you love to design a future that's going to pull you forward? And really tune into your heart. Yeah, I know oftentimes it's easy to go into, well, how much does it cost? A mentor of mine taught that deciding you would love something and how much it costs aren't necessarily one and the same. Because if you tune in and you realize, no, actually, I wouldn't love this, then that's good news. You have clarity, right? But if you would love it, then there's a couple options that you can do in order to make it happen. So the special live cohort only investment before May 17th, it's not $15,000. It's not $19.95, but it's only $14.95. Or you can do a payment option of 4 payments of $449. And so this is the special launch only investment where you're going to get all of these bonuses, plus, the live calls. So if you would love to join me in the vision driven quest, then you can go to visiondrivenquest.com and it'll guide you to the page. For whatever reason, and if that doesn't work during this recording, I'm going to make sure that I include it in the chat box here. You can also go to visiondrivenglobal.com/vision-driven-quest. So I'm going to put it in here, but it's on the screen, Vision Driven Quest. And you'll have lifetime access to all of these materials so you can continue to apply them to your business and your life again and again. And to recap, you're going to get that vision driven course and training material, the Vision Amplifier breathwork sessions, the relationship vivid vision mind map. We also are including a WhatsApp community that you can share along your journey with fellow people who are going through it, the vision driven calendar system, and then the 4 live sessions, group sessions with myself. Again, all valued at over $15,000 when you sign up today. So take a deep breath, my friend, and let's imagine for a moment. It's December 31st, 2027. Okay. And you're at this crossroads. And imagine that you take one route and nothing has changed in your life. Nothing has changed in your health. Nothing has changed in your relationships, your business, your personal wealth, your lifestyle, maybe a few nuances. And just tune in. How does that feel? And are you okay with this? Are you okay with life sort of being the same? And then take yourself all the way back to this path and imagine you go on a different path all the way to December 31st, 2027. And you took the time to get clear of what you want. You clarified it. You owned it. You called your shot. You got to work on bringing it to life. The how is probably going to look a whole lot different than you thought it was, but you were committed to the vision. You were committed to bringing it to life. You're open to the possibilities of the how. And you just kept taking the next right step and the next right step. And you begin to bring this sacred vision to life. You wake up in the morning, you're energized, you're excited. You feel alive, you feel healthy. You have relationships that are deeply satisfying to you. You look at your spouse or your partner with just a sense of awe that you get to do life with them. You have deep, meaningful family relationships and friendships. You show up for them. They show up for you. You get to experience life together. You build a business that you get to contribute your gifts into the world and create value for others and make a difference in their life and be generously compensated as a result. And you get to build an extraordinary team and help their dreams come true and all work together. You have an amazing time and money freedom where you're able to go where you want to go, do what you want to do, when you want to do it. You're able to give in the way that you want to give, experience life in a way that feels juicy and satisfying to you, whether that's vacations or buying a home or having a lake spot or traveling all over the world, but you get to do life on your terms. What would that feel like? And which path are you going to take? Because the latter path does not happen by default. I can tell you that much. That happens by design. And again, you're going to have results in your life either way. And it starts with a decision. And the way to decide is being in the present moment and asking, what would I really love? So I'd love for you to join me. Again, that's visiondrivenquest.com. I want to share a couple more stories with you before we wrap. This is my client, Sarag. He went through this process and he said, I now understand with absolute clarity where I want to go. In running a large team, they were frustrated because I couldn't share the direction on where we were headed. I know having this level of clarity will save me years and hundreds of thousands of dollars and help align and focus my team around a shared vision. Jess, founder of Listings Lab, said, I was at a turning point when I was building my business from the growth for growth's sake mentality before working with Jennifer. I was able to reignite my vision in such a big way. And let's be honest, I didn't expect to have as big of a vision and transformation as I have. So I'd love for you to join me inside the Vision Driven Quest. And I want you to know that there is literally no risk on your end. We have a vision driven commitment of 100% money back guarantee. So I'm so confident that I will give you all your money back if you don't love it. So if you join Vision Driven Quest, you go through it, for whatever reason, you don't feel like we delivered on what we promised. All you need to do is show that you gave it a shot by sending in the playbook of the first 3 modules to show that you genuinely, committed to giving it a shot. And if you did, and you don't feel like we delivered, you can just email our support with your playbook showing that you went through the first 3 modules, and we're going to issue a full refund. So literally the worst case scenario is you get to test run it for free. The best case scenario is you create an extraordinary life and business that blows your own damn mind. So if that sounds good to you, again, join me at visiondrivenquest.com. Let me make sure that that's for sure the URL. Yep, we're working on it. Yep, that's it. Cool. So you may have a couple questions. What if you have a business partner? Do you go through it separately? Do you go through it together? This is a common question I get all the time. I recommend that you go through it separately first, that you go through your personal visions separately, you brainstorm on your business vision separately, and then you come together on the business vision in particular, or even your life partner, right? You map it out separately and then come together and talk it through. That's the best move. I get a question, does this program go into the how? How am I going to make it happen? Yes, we have a module of that, but again, we're going to spend a lot more time on making sure you are crystal clear of where you're going to go, because most people don't. But in the bonus module, I'm going to show you how to unpack that 1 year focus into the quarterly and then all the way down into planning your week so that you build your calendar to be a match to that vision. If you are like, hey, this is a financial stretch for me, I get it and understand. And that is one of the reasons why we have a payment plan. So if the painful is a stretch for you, you can get started with as little as less than $450 to dive into the quest. So you can start with that payment plan today. I also get the question, I'm not an entrepreneur CEO, so is this for me? The Vision Driven Quest was designed for entrepreneurs. So all of the video trainings, the playbook is definitely going to be from that frame with examples of entrepreneurs. So even if you're starting your business and you're just getting started, then that it'll still help you. If you're not an entrepreneur, there's probably going to be some parts of it that just aren't applicable to you. So there are still aspects you get value, but it is designed for entrepreneurs and CEOs. And then a final question is, I don't have time to go through this. So like, what should I do? So here is how I'm going to answer this really direct and honest is I would check how much time in this last week that you have spent scrolling, whether it's social media or email or, getting lost in mindless tasks. And if you're willing to simply just swap the time that you spend scrolling for investing in your future by mapping out your vision, you're going to be in a good spot. So we make time for what's most important in our lives and what we value. So if you value your future and creating an extraordinary life for yourself, you'll find the time. As far as time takes, I'd recommend carving an hour, 2 hours per week for the next 6 weeks. And give or take. But you can also dive. I have people who are like, hey, I'm going on a vacation and I want to dive into this and like work on it because it'll feel so expansive and fun and life-giving. So you can do that. So again, if you are going to join me and let's do this thing and you can hop in and get started, then go to visiondrivenquest.com and our live cohort that the cart close is May 17th. I don't know the next time that I'm going to open up the Vision Driven Quest. It likely won't be this year, maybe by the end of the year, but certainly not in the next few months. So join me now, get started now. And you can go to visiondrivenquest.com to get set up to join me. Okay. And so as promised and wrapping it up, bringing it home is for the bonus gift at the very end is I wanted to give you a free morning and evening vision amplifier audio tracks that will help you get into a vision state. And so all you need to do is go to, oh my gosh. Well, here, I have the link here. Go to VAE dailydose.com. V is in Victor, A is in Apple, E is in extraordinary, dailydose.com. And you're going to get our morning and evening vision amplifier tracks. You can listen to anytime, anywhere. It'll help you tap into that vision state. And thank you so much for staying until the end, my friend. I really appreciate you. And I would love to see you in the quest. I was put on this planet to help leaders, entrepreneurs, CEOs with their vision and bringing this vision to life and doing so in a way that feels deeply satisfying and on purpose. And so it would be my honor, my privilege to get to help you with such a sacred process and know that you will be in good hands. And so again, if you haven't yet, head over to Vision Driven Quest, get signed up. I will see you there. And let's go. Let's make your life and your dreams come true. Let's do it. All right, my friend. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go.